Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Boys Dressing Room podcast. I think we're here for episode 8. I am joined with me. Wait, that didn't make sense. You guys, you guys get the idea. Joined with me, as always, is my best friend and co-host, Aiden McCoy. This week, it's a pretty, I'd say special episode, but it's more or less just the same bit. Who do we have with us today?
Drum roll, please. No one.
That's right.
It's funny because I have voice recorder pulled up for the podcast, and when I was doing like the drum roll, you know how the circle gets bigger and bigger, like the more
widens,
volume it was. It was just staying like it was maxed out, and it was just staying there that entire time. So it's probably gonna be so bass boosted.
We apologize, but not too much because I like that bit.
It's pretty much just poor Jackson because he has to edit that.
The editor, you mean?
Oh my gosh, the editor.
Ugh. Well, but yeah. So this episode's just gonna be with us. It's weird thinking that it's episode 8.
Agreed.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of weird to where like it either feels like episode 15 or like episode 3, if that makes sense.
Like no in between. And yet we are in the in-between.
3 and 8, yeah.
Yeah, but yes we are.
To kind of start off, first topic I kind of want to jump into. We've really been putting a lot of time, especially recently. So right now we're on spring break, but right now we've been spending a lot of time during build days, and what that means is just us spending quite a few hours just at school building sets.
For specifically Matilda, and that we typically have parents helping out with the building process, but because of everything going on, we can't, like, administration isn't letting parents come on, and so we just kind of have to do it ourselves. So it's a weird process so far, but we're getting quite a bit done.
Yeah, and that's something to where, like, I'm sure. I mean, I don't think the quality is, obviously, when you have full-grown adults who are, I would say, pretty competent at, actually building things. Not like in years prior, the kids or we have been bad or anything like that, but it's noticeable when you have parental or just older figures who are more prominent and actually can just kind of help guide you a little bit more as opposed to general direction and just figuring it out yourself. Not to say that I don't think things are going badly, but yeah.
But the freaking doors for the puff set, God.
We don't need to talk about that. Did I have a prominent role in one of them? Absolutely. Is it the best door? Not even close.
Well, I don't think any of them are the best door.
In that case, I'm still in the running.
Which one is yours? Is it yours the Hufflepuff?
I think mine is the Puff store.
Well, then you got like the main door then.
Yeah.
Because that's door 2, and that's the
one on the left, but not the very left one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got the Puff's common room door.
I think that one. I don't know. It's actually nice though during the build days. I was talking about this with you earlier today. It's nice actually using things that I learned in tech class for things that aren't just like this project, like. So it's cool being like, oh, the thing that Dixon made us like go over or learn how to do, or just safety tips and stuff. I actually have a use for them now, to where obviously in years prior they would have been using them in like the fall for like the big musical or whatever, but it's still cool at least getting to see those and like apply also it's fun. I wonder, I guess, for like either incoming freshmen or just people not as familiar with like the build days and that atmosphere. It's cool seeing them in that environment to where now they kind of have at least a foundation of like where things go, where tools are kept, what to be used.
It's funny because I never really got that until really like last year. Because freshman year, I think my build days were primarily just
painting.
Yeah. But it's cool like seeing just freshmen just like learn a lot more about just specific parts of the program in that aspect.
And it's definitely a big, I would say, I don't want to say like, I don't know if gateway is the right word, but you know, it's an opening or like kind of a forum for you to get to know people a little bit better. Because if you're working on either cutting something or making something for a couple hours, chances are you're gonna at least know the person you're working with a little better. And you just kind of naturally work on one thing with someone else or like go on to the next thing. So you're kind of going between a couple of people and getting to know them a little better. And I'm at least happy that that's something that we get to take away of like either getting to know freshmen or just people you didn't know super well, or just getting to spend more time with, you know, your friends or the people that you do know super well. Kind of shifting gears, lunch today was funny.
So basically what happened is one of the parents got pizza for the cast, but we have like a pretty big auditorium that sits it sits like over 500 people, but we had to distance with like the 30 of us, 30 20
something like that. It was
but that's a really distance because we were all maskless while eating, obviously. But so Dixon didn't want us turning like to like talk to our friends or anything. Like she just wanted us all facing one direction, just because of, I don't know, like airflow or.
It makes sense to where you don't want people, even if they're separated by like a row or like 2 rows, if they're still like talking at each other, that's gonna be more likely than as opposed to, I guess, if you were in the front. I don't know how helpful that was.
Yeah.
But
a lot of good bits came out of it. My friend Ava and I, we were just having a full conversation because she was like 2 rows ahead of me and to the left a bit. And so I was just talking to the back of her head and she was just talking like just straight forward and not even looking at me one bit because we were still looking the same direction. And I don't know, it was an interesting experience. It was quite funny.
Yeah, then Aiden, unfortunately, because I had just like told everyone to go in there to eat lunch, and then I just washed my hands. So when everyone left to go wash their hands, I had already done that. So I was at like the front of the line to actually get food. So after that, I just took my seat, and then like 20 other people came in, and then Aiden was just in the line. So you had to sit in the back of the auditorium.
The very back.
And there was a couple of people, I would say, quote unquote, near me, but obviously separated by a couple rows or like at least 15 seats. So it's not like I was necessarily right up against anyone, but you would just be trying to get my attention, and I couldn't turn around to look at you, and I just had to kind of guess in my head what your facial reactions or expressions were.
Hey, Benji. Just like 5 seconds later. Yeah?
And then I think one time you're like, oh, I don't think he can hear me. I'm like, I can hear you. It was funny.
If we're on like other sides of the auditorium.
Because I was in like the very front middle section and you were in
I was
back.
on like the left. I was on the very left of the back right. Directions.
That reminds me, in a drama class, we're gonna have assigned seats in the auditorium because my drama class is quite massive, and she didn't put me in the very back, but everyone else took up the front, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Not like you can't sit there, but I'm just like, you realize that Dixon is going to call on you. All right, I'm not gonna tell. Okay, and then I just went into the back,
Yep.
And I think the only person near me is like Vanna,
Gotcha.
and then Caleb Cessna, but like a couple rows ahead of me. So,
I don't think Advance is gonna have assigned seats because pretty much Puffs is basically in 3 weeks. We're filming in 3 weeks, and
whoa.
that's which is terrifying to say the least. But I think pretty much when we go back in person, we're just running through stuff, so we're not even gonna have we're not even gonna have assigned seats for the first like few weeks of in person learning.
I'm sure it'll be a situation where it's like, hey, you're not in the scene. Take a seat in the auditorium kind of deal.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's also gonna be funny because like I don't know, it's gonna be shifting gears a bit, but you know how we like used to just like, you know, sit in the desks in the black box?
Yeah.
I like how those are getting like upgraded for Matilda.
Yeah.
Like I don't know the thought of them. Yeah. Cause we're making like a wooden structure below like the metal bars for the chairs, and then like we're attaching wheels. We're screwing in wheels to them, so like the kids can like move on their desk like super easily without like too much of a hassle, and also do some of the blocking.
Yeah.
And so they don't die.
So,
But
not to give anything away, but people may or may not leave the ground or like leave their desks. Taking flight, if you will.
taking flight. Like a.
I've said too much.
I've said too much. I've spoiled too much.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. I don't know. It stuff like that. we've now upgraded and fortified the desks. Big changes are coming, I guess.
Oh yeah. We made a chalkboard today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Chalkboard.
Mm-hmm. And what else did we do today?
A lot of things were painted. Like there's a bathroom that was painted. There was
the whole bookshelf, the living room,
Honey's house,
the boxes, the platform for Honey's house, the platforms for When I Grow Up. Quite a bit. Like we got quite a bit done today.
And I feel like I could tell just based off of everyone's kind of first, like, I'd say 30 minutes to like an hour on Monday. It's kind of hard when either we kind of haven't done build days or anything like that in a while. So
over a year.
So there was so much of like either a newness to people who have never done it before, or just kind of, I guess, like removing the rust, if that makes sense.
Because truthfully, like the only thing prior to this, well, we did like a bit of stuff for Puffs, like in our classes, but that wasn't like a build day. We had some like days before, like in-person school started. Wait, right? Yeah, days before in-person school started, like the first hybrid schedule, where we just started breaking down sets, like old sets and stuff, so that we could just get that out of the way and have like a space to rehearse in for 75 Below.
That was weird.
Yeah, 100%.
We had to take so many things out of like different closets and storage areas that I was like, I've either only been to once or twice or heard in only name only. So it was like weird, but also very fun to get to do that, because it's like, oh, now we actually get to mess around and figure out some stuff, and definitely it makes the show feel, obviously you have more of an attachment to something that you spent time with.
Right.
So getting to spend that time in either constructing the set or just spending more time on the show in a different way as opposed to a rehearsal, like either music or blocking or just, you know, whatever. So that was definitely pretty fun. All right, do you want to switch gears?
Sure.
All right, kind of moving a bit of a change in direction. Before, so like we mentioned, this week we're on spring break. Last week we just finished third quarter of our second semester, and last week just in general was quite a bit of a hassle,
a hassle, to say the very least.
Very taxing and draining.
We had the ACT on Wednesday, and at our school, it's mandatory to take the ACT for all juniors.
I think that was because they implemented to where they got rid of standardized testing.
Standardized testing. Take. Yeah, and in place we did the ACT,
which I think for those people that were planning on taking the ACT, obviously getting to take it for free is a pretty good benefit, and for people that were considering taking it but now have that opportunity, that's pretty helpful. But for
one of the things that just sucked, though, sorry for cutting off, but one of the things that just sucked was we weren't like notified that we always knew we were going to take the ACT at some point, but we didn't know when that would be. We kind of just assumed spring, but they told us like a couple weeks in advance.
Some kids found out literally like a week and a half before.
Yeah.
And luckily we took it the next week, so they had one group test on like March 3rd, and then our group tested on the 10th.
The 10th, yeah.
So luckily we got an extra week than they did, which is obviously unfortunate for them, but I don't think I would have done drastically better with another week.
Right.
Because most of it is just time management, which we can't really... I'm sure you could like work on, but it's kind of hard to prepare.
It's just taking a lot of practice tests. Mm-hmm. Because, like, the material. It's just a matter of, can you think fast, basically, for the majority of it.
Yeah, and not... I don't think we're supposed to talk about the test, but I will say most of it's just, here's this graph, or here's this chart, and then look at the question, and then you have to pull the information that the question's asking from that chart or graph. So it's not like, they never taught us this. It's very much straightforward. Yeah. But if you kind of get lost on one or two words, or I was a little confused as to what some of the charts meant and what some of the, so I got hung up on tinier things that I didn't understand, so that made the question get pretty hard.
Yeah. What really sucked was that the test is super long. Pretty sure it's longer than the SAT, and I've taken the PSAT, which is a similar length to where... Like, it's ACT's unbearable towards the end. And so what was like the order of the sections? We started out with English. Wait.
I think it was
English, it was like grammar. Math. It was like English, math, reading, science.
Yeah.
It was like grammar, math, reading, science.
Yeah.
By the time I got to the science section, the last section, I clocked out. Like, I zoned out for 5 minutes, and we don't get that long to work on it, so we had like 35 minutes, and I just spent 5 minutes just zoning out, to where I didn't have enough time to answer like 6 of the questions at the end, so I just answered randomly. So it'd be funny if I was gonna get like a really good composite score, but then just science just like screws me over. But like, even if it does, whatever. It'd be funny.
I think overall, so that was just our Wednesday for that week, and then because it was the end of the quarter, the thing that kind of just made that whole experience not so great is that we had tests either that Thursday or that Friday, and in 2 of my classes, we had them the next day because I go to school on Thursday. So I just finished taking the ACT. Right after that, took two tests. I'm having a bit of trouble today. But I took those 2 tests, and and strangely, after that, my third quarter was just over, but not really, because then on Friday I had to go to like a handful of Zooms, but it was like fairly light, but it was just confusing, because then I was like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah, right.
So I don't know, but I don't think I'm glad that third quarter is very much
over,
done.
It was funny because I go to in-person school on Friday. Well, I guess not anymore because we're going fully in person soon, which we'll talk about in a bit.
I go to in person on Friday.
We'll talk about in a bit, but when I went on Friday, I guess the Thursday before, once cohort 1, like, they all had finished, they were just like, oh, hey, this test really sucked. So basically all I could really do was just, like, mentally prepare, like, 24 hours in advance for this test that was coming up in chemistry. So, because everyone that I talked to was just like, oh yeah, this really sucks. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to mentally prepare for this, and hopefully it goes well.
And then after the test, I got you an EG, so that was pretty...
That really did make my day. And then we had a music rehearsal that was actually pretty good.
I feel like the last couple have been very productive. And
yeah, because we finished Bows, and then we just, like, cleaned all of the songs.
Mm-hmm. And then we finished actually pretty early to where we just kind of had a half an hour. And musically, I feel like we did fairly well at. It was just, we were all, like, kind of riding off that, yeah, we just finished the music. Good job,
we're feeling really confident.
To now having a half hour where instead of, like, rerunning music stuff, like we just went over, I think that's where everyone's heads were at. And then we just ran Bruce, right? And nobody felt good about that.
Yeah.
Because there were just moments here or there that we all just felt like, yeah, that was not it. That was not.
To be completely fair, we hadn't blocked it ever in the auditorium because for the most part, we had to do a lot of our dancing rehearsals initially outside. So we kind of gave ourselves a lot more room to where when we converted to, like, a smaller space in the auditorium on stage, it was not a clean transition in the slightest.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel like we're fortunate enough to have, like, a month or so before the show
to clean.
So it's like we have that time, but it's like taking advantage of it. You know, there's no point in having another month if no one's gonna.
Yeah, because we can't really, like, use that as, like, an excuse to kind of slack off. We just gotta hammer this in. Especially, honestly, I just like to start practicing with the masks we're gonna use because they might be a bit thicker than just your average, like, disposable mask. So
what were those clear masks I saw on Dixon's desk?
The masks we're gonna use and the ones I think we should start practicing with.
Oh, so we're gonna start, like, emoting actually?
Yeah, which is
like, obviously people, like, did inflections and, like, move their face. I'm sure they were doing it, but there's no way to verify. And, like, Aiden, you were just smirking under there. You were supposed to be terrifying.
Oh yeah, I have to act. Oh no.
They're working us to the bone.
You expect me to sing, dance, and act?
What did you want me to build the entire set for you?
The entire set?
Would that be enough for you? Huh?
Yes, it would.
Anyways, come see our production of Matilda Iron Wood.
It'll be great. It's just, oh my god. Singing with masks on and dancing with it's
awesome.
It sucks. It's kind of wish we were just using disposable masks so we could, not like we can't breathe under clear masks because like we can obviously, but it's still just that extra layer where it's like, God, am I really breathing?
It would be so terrible if it's just anytime that it's just a scene and no song, you just switch to the clear mask. You walk off stage for an actual song and then have to put on a disposable.
Yeah.
Just alternating between the. Yeah.
Apparently, like, the clear masks have, like, a bit of a gap on the sides to where our mouths are not, like, super exposed, but kind of exposed to where Dixon's like, yeah, I'm thinking that, oh my god, sorry. When you guys walk off stage after numbers or after puff scenes, you just put on disposable masks over it. So
it
that'll be
almost
2
doesn't
layers.
do its job.
It's almost like because Morgan practiced with hers in our first Puffs run through that went swimmingly, and like it was kind of hard to hear her.
Oh.
Like it's kind of hard to make out what she's saying, so I'm just like, it's funny because like it's almost like these masks are almost less safe and less sufficient than disposable masks. The only upside is
Them being
they can see our mouths,
Oh.
but like that's it.
That's unfortunate.
And especially since like we're singing and we're speaking, and we spit sometimes when we're singing or speaking because that's just
Windex.
yeah. It's just gonna look. It's from the audience. It's just they're not gonna see our mouths because it's just spit.
Like,
And especially since we have to do like such heavy character voices.
I mean, on the bright side, if like Jaden had one of those, then
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It would have been. Oh.
nothing against Jaden. We love Jaden.
Nothing against Jaden in the slightest, but
I do the same
man
thing
spits
sometimes.
a lot. Man spits a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
Actually, this may or may not be a fine segue. Speaking of Jaden, who was formerly a thespian president, last week we got the revelations of who our thespian kids are.
I love that transition. Who was previously a thespian president? We found out.
We found out. Guys, we found out.
We did it. We did it, Joe. You're gonna be the next president of the
You're gonna be the
United
next thespian
States.
president of the United
Of the of the drama club.
Drama Club.
Drama club.
But yeah, so we found out who our kids are, and that is pretty freaking tastic.
Quite cool. Quite hip.
But yeah, so things are going to be a little bit different from years prior, but that is still very exciting for all of the parents, and I'm sure for the kids. I'm hoping
that we can
to
do something.
reach out and potentially have some of the either inducted or like newly inducted or whatever freshmen to come onto the podcast and just kind of talk about that experience. But again, we have not started that process. Next week, actually, when we go back to in person full time, we'll be doing that. So that'll be another thing just kind of on top of us transitioning to school.
Yeah, because I think we're starting out the first 2 days. We're just gonna do fully online, so teachers can kind of.
Oh,
prep.
so that Monday, Tuesday, we're just gonna be online.
I think so, but they never like efficiently communicated that,
They
so
definitely
I don't know
should
how many
tell
people know.
us.
I don't think a lot of people know.
I did not know that, so
Well, you're welcome.
that's actually why we have these podcast episodes.
Podcasts
So
to
Aiden can
inform
tell
the-
me
the-
things that I very much should be aware of.
to inform the youth,
Me,
the
I'm
public, the general public. You are the youth / general public.
So
Intended audience.
historical now.
AP US history. How I love ya.
But other than thespian stuff, all right. So that's a really big positive. But
Yeah.
Aiden, I have a bit of negative news that I don't know that you're emotionally ready to hear.
I don't think I'm ready, Benji.
So, and I'm sure if you viewers out there want to get some tissues, ice cream,
Some tissues and some.
I don't know
Some
what's wrong
comfort.
with my voice and or inflections and just ability to speak today.
Hey, it's okay.
But
I have that like every other day.
Yeah, whatever.
Just not today. Just kidding.
But anyways, getting back to the somber topic at hand.
Sorry. I shouldn't.
You killed
it
the
was
mood.
too
But
late.
anyways,
I'm sorry.
we in previous episodes had a long time running gag and counter where we'd review episode 3, where one Aiden McCoy promised to release a certain couple videos that were posted on his channel previous years. If we got 37 likes or something, I used the or something so that I can't be wrong.
True.
But sadly, just a quick update. It's not going too well.
Hey, it's okay.
We're actually at 4 likes.
Hey,
out of 37.
What? I think that number's been the same for the past 4 episodes, if that makes you feel better.
But the part that doesn't make me feel better is somebody actually disliked it in the last 4 episodes. I think we have a deserter. Someone couldn't take it.
They were not ready to see my 4-year-old videos from the 7th grade.
And I don't know what kind of person that is. If you're the dislike person, we need to have a serious talk and or come onto the podcast. But
come on to the.
It's probably
maybe we'll do it in person so we can beat you up or something.
or something.
Or something.
We say the or something so we can't be held up.
So we can't be wrong.
But yeah, I don't want to put anyone in an uncomfortable position or make anyone feel bad, but that's got to change right now.
So,
I don't know if lower the goal or just be even more disappointed and just critical of our viewers.
Lower the goal to 4 likes to where guys, we made it. Just lower the goal to 4 likes.
If we can get
4 likes. Whoa!
Fine, we'll play by your game. If we can get 37 subscribers. Oh, hey guys, we hit the... No!
No! If we get to 100... What's the first video at? 140 views or something like that, so I can't be wrong. If we get to that point, which we definitely have made it to, then we'll...
If our first episode could get 145 views.
Wow.
Y'all showing love on the first episode with 7 likes. I see you.
Damn.
Well, anyways, I feel like we've covered that topic pretty heavily. We've pressured the audience, and I expect nothing less than 15 likes.
I'll do a rhetorical analysis on that speech, Benji.
Yeah, I think it worked well.
Very effective.
But yeah, moving on, and some more, I guess, positive news. We have some goals that we want to achieve, and some of these goals, very much like getting likes on videos or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, we're looking to maybe seek employment.
Seek some job opportunities, if you will. Some cash, if you feel so inclined. Now, Benji and I, we're gonna get a summer job together.
That's the plan.
And that's the plan. So basically, this new segment of the podcast is going to be dedicated to us searching for summer jobs, and it's gonna be fantastic.
I can't imagine how this could go wrong at any point, because I'm sure wherever we find jobs will be fun and or fresh and or cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited to work at Chick-fil-A.
No, hold on. What we'll do is that in the future, when we actually get a job, we can be like, wow, I always knew I would work at insert title, place of business here.
Place of business.
Wow, I always loved going there for their whatever they sell. Wow, but it's just good to be part of the family, It's like Fast and Furious.
If we apply to, I've rarely gone to Panera personally.
Mm-hmm.
So if I apply and I get hired there, for example, I'll just be like, I always love their guys. What do they sell again?
Bread.
Their kettle chips.
I actually do like their mac and cheese is pretty good.
They had a good sandwich, but I don't know what it was.
I for some reason like to get grilled cheeses, but with bacon in the grilled cheese. And Panera
That's not a
does
grilled
it
cheese.
well.
That's not a grilled cheese.
The cheese is grilled, therefore.
But you have to.
Is this?
If you're going to say grilled cheese, you have to add whatever condiment you have to include your additions in the name.
Grilled bacon cheese?
Yes.
But like
God.
So is this like a every square is or a rectangle is a square, but a square is in a rectangle situation?
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, we currently have only vague ideas and inclinations as to where we want to work. So any and all help, either places, just in general, would be welcome.
Would be swag.
What are your opinions on fast food, Aiden?
I don't know. I've always kind of like kept my eye out for like, I don't know if this counts as fast food, but like certain like barista jobs, like a Starbucks worker. But also imagine both of us being baristas. It's just absolutely screwing up every day.
The funny thing is that I don't even know how coffee works. So like you could take like I'm the most like you want a muffin? I can be the muffin guy. I can get you this brownie, this muffin, this croissant, whatever. You ask me to make a liquid. I'm sorry, you're done. Like
a latte, huh?
Never met her.
Never met her. I don't know. Like I don't know. It sure. I don't know because like that was a coherent sentence. That right
know,
there
you
was
sure?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Like I go to Starbucks often, but I don't know what to. I don't know how they make anything like Oh my god.
I mean, obviously there's training. Obviously there's work and
right.
You get to know the job, but it's just at the surface level. Like I feel like I understand how they make a burger. How do we get from me ordering my drink, right, to it coming out? Like I get lost in the process. Again, I guess the muffin guy.
I guess what I was trying to say is like, oh yeah, you want a latte? How is that any different from an Americano? How is that any different from a like, you know? Like how is that any different from anything else that's on the menu? Like specifically with coffees, like obviously like they're different from refreshers or certain drinks, but like I don't know, man.
I can be the water cup and muffin guy.
I could be. You want fries? I can get you fries.
I will go to McDonald's because we are still a Starbucks.
Yes. You want a venti iced water? I might struggle a bit, but I could get that to you.
Question. Is the Starbucks in that fries? You know how there's the Starbucks across from the fries? Whatever, is that Starbucks still there? Like the one inside the grocery store?
Talk about the one by Target. Are you talking about the one by Target?
Yes. But isn't there... But, like, yeah. So the one outside. But then there's also a Starbucks inside the fries, if I'm not...
Yes. Yep. There's both.
Wouldn't that be disappointing if we both applied, but one of us applied for the one inside and the other one outside? So it's...
We just look through the windows each day and just wave.
Yeah. Hey. And they're like, is that the muffin guy from Starbucks? I'm like, damn straight.
Damn straight. We could park next to each other. Be cute.
All right, see you at work wearing the same uniform, but I like to think that they have a brutal rivalry. They're like, oh.
Man, it's not even close because one's very much more busy and just popular than the other.
Yeah.
Because there's one just standalone restaurant.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone at the fries Starbucks under the age of like 20. Well, I say 20 as if that probably like 27. Like everyone else is like older to where they're already at fries, might as well situation.
Yeah.
as opposed to I feel like everyone younger would just go to the one outside, even though that one's probably more busy.
Yeah, it's always more busy. Like, the line is always super long to where you could just go across the street to the Fry's Starbucks and get it in, like, you get your drink in, like, 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. The other one would take, like, 20.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
But aside from Starbucks, is there any places that you're kind of considering?
As for fast food...
Doesn't have to be fast food. It was just kind of a branch.
Oh, okay. Okay. In-N-Out seems cool. Mainly because of their pay.
and you
get
to wear cool hats.
That you do.
Drip.
Drip or drown, as always. For like retail, for example, I guess like a thrift store would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like if many thrift stores hire like at younger than 18, but whatever.
I'm not judging.
I don't know. Benji, where do you think we would fit in like a mall setting? Like, what stores do you think we would fit in at like a mall?
I feel like we would run the best Wetzel's Pretzels.
Absolutely.
I don't know why. I just picture that in my head.
But like, they already have like a team of workers, but we just replace them. So yeah. Just
we're just like, hey, yeah, we're new. We don't know what anything is, but listen.
Get out.
In between, like, wouldn't that be funny if we just had like whole routines and then like there was just like a every time there was an order, we had to like do a whole number. And then people just got really pissed, and that's why we lose our job.
Something stupid,
like,
or just like extravagant.
It's like, by the way, like, yes, I did burn down the Wetzel's Pretzels because I left the Cinnabits just like on the side, and like it spilled out, burned everything. Like, not the restaurant, like the little stand.
It's in shambles.
But listen, I did just do all of Tough Act to Follow.
I did pull out my taps for this, actually.
Gets on top of the counter and like, what the?
Yeah, we'd run a mean Wetzel's Pretzels. Yeah. Like a solid Wetzel's Pretzels.
Or I feel like it would be maybe like a food court situation, and then that's where we'd like work at two different places, and it'd be like, oh, Aiden, he's a Subway kind of guy. Me?
Oh, Benji's kind of a Panda Express kind of guy. An all-American burger guy, if you will.
My pitch for the new adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. It's just the two families own different sides of the food court.
How would like the duels work with like Mercutio?
Well, going back to a little film called Romeo and Juliet, they had races, so maybe they just like it's the guys giving free samples or something.
Or they just have like a food fight.
Yeah, I say or something, so I can't be wrong.
Mercutio dies. How would
Ben
someone die in a food
just
fight?
Gets like his tongue burned because they like put too much spice or something he's allergic to.
He just has to get sent home, and that's how they die.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, take 2 weeks off. Don't worry, just go ahead.
But yeah, he could just like, or like get food poisoning. Boom.
We spike the food.
Yeah. Boom. Where's my $1 million?
Yeah, this film will definitely be a success.
What would it be called?
What's a good food pun for this?
I don't know.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Well, we'll put it in post.
We'll put it in post.
We'll add it in here.
We'll add it to the title.
Nah, that's not true.
That's not true at all.
But yeah, I think there'd be plenty of places that like I'd be fine. Like I wouldn't mind working in fast food. I don't think. I'm sure after the first week I'll be like, why did I do this to myself? But as of right now, me recording this episode, I am perfectly fine with working at fast food because customers and food, and I do think it would be a problem if it was a place that I like genuinely liked, and then me not liking the job as association, like, made me enjoy that thing less, you know?
Yeah, gotcha.
To where, like, it'd have to be a place where I don't absolutely love unless I continue to like it the same way. Because I'm wondering what it's like to say you work at, for a random example, off the top of my head, Safeway, right? So say you work at Safeway, and you leave Safeway, and you need to shop somewhere, and the only place is a Safeway. Are you kind of like, this is a little
Is it tainted?
weird? Yeah, because you're like, either this manager or this boss or this coworker just made that experience.
And like, what if you see them?
That would just be weird and awkward. But if it's like,
Yeah,
I enjoyed that place, or at least didn't hate it, to where I don't mind spending time there. But I'm sure that would be weird if you're like, now this thing that I formerly enjoyed a lot more, I do not as much. I don't know. She crazy.
She crazy.
She crazy.
But yeah, I like this to be like an ongoing segment in the podcast of just us updating you guys with more research on possible job openings that interest Benji and I.
I hear Ever's dad has a secretary position, so.
That's true. We split that into we split that into like 2 parts, so like we each get half a secretary job.
Aiden, you do the typing, I do the
mouse. I get the keyboard, you get the mouse. It's like a challenge.
Mr. Miller, you have a 5 o'clock. I'm just moving the mouse. Like the password, you're just typing it in. Enter.
We would get like so good at that.
And then when we'd actually have to use a keyboard, I'd be like, oh crap. And then you'd have to use a mouse. And you're like,
It's like, yeah, it's like out of our comfort zones at that point. I can't handle this anymore.
I can't take it anymore.
I can't take this anymore. Yeah.
Pay no
Quite
attention to my
swag.
keyboard typing.
Okay, not at all.
Pay no attention. This joke is gonna be so funny.
I'm ready. I'll wait a bit. I'll take a sip of my EGs.
Your EGs. None of these are good. Oh, do you think Okay, ready? So the back to the Romeo and Juliet food court thing. So one of them owns like a Panda Express type situation. So the title is You're My Soy Mate. Did I just look that up? Yes, I am not proud.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. Okay, so Benji, I actually don't want to continue this segment anymore. I kind of just want to find my own job. If you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't care. No, I don't care.
Do you want me to be
I'm fine in my
unemployed?
job. Yes.
That's fair. Like, okay.
God, we cleared that up.
I'm glad we dispelled any. But yeah, I definitely think. I'm hoping that regardless, that it's kind of something to where it'd be nice to get that experience in the actual working field and all that jazz. But like, I think it really just depends kind of who else is there. To where I'm assuming our hours won't overlap very much, or at least if they do, it might be a situation where it's like, all right, you're in the very back, or like you're just on 2 different things to where interacting isn't as frequent. But for the sheer experience of like, hey, at least we're both kind of like, oh, Kelly? Ugh, Kelly, am I right?
Ugh, Kelly.
She's always like, have a good day, Ben. And I'm like, oh my.
It'd be funny to like bring that to the podcast too.
Yeah, to where it's like, hey, guess what I heard at work? That's it. The podcast is just an open forum for just talking bad
like
about
a Panda Express.
the Panda Express podcast.
If that's where we land our job.
Again, title still working. It's in workshop.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, what place would you not want to go to at all?
So I was actually going to talk about this. You remember that one time when we went to the mall and we went inside a Zoomies and we felt so
man.
judged?
I'm not gonna swear, but those people, man, I don't like them.
We were just like me, Benji, and Riley went inside a Zoomies this one time, and I was literally just trying to find, I think, like a My Hero shirt, and I just felt so judged the entire time. I think I got stared at a little bit, but I was probably imagining I was getting stared at a lot more than I actually was. But it just felt very uneasy in there. Like I didn't belong.
I think it was kind of like, I don't know. I'm sure it is a bit of like, oh, I'm overthinking it, whatever. But they didn't do anything to kind of like ease that. And then one of the workers came over to like, hey, do you guys need help with anything? Which is like not an out of line, question to ask. Obviously, they're like, hey, how can I help you? But it just came off as kind of like,
you guys
how can I
no idea
limit
what you're
your
doing.
time here because you clearly do not look like you know what you're doing here.
Exactly.
So that was just kind of like, okay, dude.
All right, dude.
Literally calm down. But yeah, I think, yeah, we probably were overthinking it a little bit, but I do not want to go there.
Still,
again.
Zoomies is far down the list. Far down the list.
Unless we become those people, and then, well,
we just become toxic skaters.
just like, yeah, what about it?
Yeah. So, did you watch Skate the Infinity?
Can I go on a random tangent?
Sure.
So this has nothing to do with anything, except for kind of, because I thought of Heelys, and then it brought me to this decision. Do you remember all those ads for, like, the Skechers light-up shoes, right? And then, like, how sometimes they added games onto the shoes?
Yeah.
I remember my big bit in elementary school was like, wow, kids nowadays have it so good. Again, being, like, 10 years old or whatever. And I was like, wow, this is unfair. I'm too old to get them, even though I was, again, like, probably 11 or 12.
So you weren't that much older.
Yeah, so it was like, I'm probably still within the target demographic, but I was like, this is stupid. Why did they get to have shoes that have games on them? I hate this. And then I think I said, like, oh, when I grow up and have kids, they're not going to have anything like that. Which, by then in the future, if my shoes can't do, like, a basic memory game, what's the point, Like, bump all of that. Like,
literally. Yeah.
Because I'm assuming if I can call someone from my watch, right, or just send a text, or like call someone across the world, and someone can't figure out how to put like in dress shoes, can't figure out how to put a memory game, much less like Temple Run or something.
Temple Run.
Imagine kids nowadays will be playing they'll be playing Clash of Clans on their shoes.
Kids these days.
Yeah, that just popped into my head, and I was like, you know what? I've come to the realization that I was dumb. I apologize. Those marketing teams, good job. You finally won me over.
You are doing your best.
I have fell victim to the corporate schemes and ploys.
That's okay. Welcome. Welcome to the team.
Is there anything like that as a kid you're like, that's stupid, and then you're like, oh wait, that's actually kind of cool? Because I feel like I have a lot of those where I'm like, I didn't understand the purpose and like use of it, or at least I thought it was not as cool, and then I'm like, actually, like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
God, I'm trying to think.
It can honestly be anything that you disliked at the time, and then you're just like, huh. Full circle. Not that bad.
I think I took Heelys for granted
Yeah.
for the longest time. Like, it was almost like I like switched my moods to where I really wanted them, got them, and I was like, these are so lame. And then never wore them again, but now I'm like, those were so cool. You know?
Yeah, I feel
so
like
definitely Heelys.
the worst thing in the world though was those people that would get Heelys and then take the wheels out. It's like, what do you?
What's the point?
Yeah,
like they're not even cool shoes. Like
the whole attraction to them is, I'm sure the shoe
is
is
the
really
wheels.
like bad, or at least relatively cheap, so that
it just looks like one of those like high top Hurley shoes.
Yeah, so it's like that was nobody's first choice, but you add a wheel to it, and now that's something that's like a little bit of spice, a little bit of flavor.
Yeah.
But I'm not just going to be rocking with that shoe. But I feel like
Y'all rocking with the Heely shoe without the E. Heel E.
I don't know. It's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I think I definitely didn't appreciate recess.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously I enjoyed like running around the playground, but it was just kind of like, wow, this is gonna be forever. Then you get to middle school and you could still like go outside during lunch and stuff, but it was kind of like you had to scarf your food down to get like actually more than like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Now we're taking the ACT.
Look how things have changed.
That's our recess.
What your biggest concern used to be Heelys, and now look where we are.
Look where we are.
I don't like that. There's a lot of stuff that are just kind of coming up more recently, or at least that I can remember, that are kind of like, hey, this is a quick reminder, you're almost an adult.
Like, shut up. Oh my
Literally
God. Literally didn't ask at all. Not even in the slightest.
Not even in the slightest.
Alright.
Alright.
What's a clean and easy and efficient way to end off this podcast, Benji?
I feel like, honestly, I kind of want to, do we both want to kind of give like a nice kind of like, hey, message to everyone out there?
Sure.
Nice, just kind of like either reflection or just kind of nice note to leave off on. Because normally one of us yells and the podcast ends. So I really just want to like leave it off on a good note.
All right. Who wants to go first?
All right. So,